Tonight, calling for charges. That's what the mayor of Minneapolis is looking for as hundreds protest the death of George Floyd. And protests break out locally. Dozens are on London Road right now seeking justice for Floyd. Plus, nearly 100 restaurant and bar owners from our region came together today discussing the future of their businesses amidst the pandemic.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke. Tony is on assignment tonight. Thanks for joining us. Happening right now, a protest in Duluth is underway as people are speaking out tonight after the death of George Floyd, an unarmed black man who died after an altercation with police on Monday. We'll get to the protest in just a minute, but first, let's take a look at how we got here. This was the scene Monday when police were responding to a forgery call. Authorities say Floyd was resisting arrest. One of the officers knelt on Floyd's neck for what is reported to be 7 minutes, while Floyd said he could not breathe. He would later die at an area hospital. 4 officers were later fired and an FBI investigation was launched. Only one of them has been identified. According to our sister station, WCCO, the office of lawyer Tom Kelly confirmed they were representing one of the officers involved in the case and confirmed his identity as Derek Chauvin. The city's mayor, Jacob Fry, has called on the Hennepin County attorney to press charges against Chauvin. As we mentioned, protests are happening in Duluth right now. CBS3's Ryan Campo is live for us there tonight. And Ryan, you've been there for a couple of hours now. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Kristen, as you mentioned, this has been ongoing for about a couple hours now, and I'm going to step right out of the scene so you guys can see what's going on as police is now surrounded by the protesters, as this has now become the stopping point to the 2-hour-long process. We've seen it continue west onto London Road all the way down to Marine General and then back again. Police cars to our left blocking off not only the highway but also the intersection, which has been a big part of this. Police have been not only in front but also behind the protest, as it looks like some are starting to continue, but others are also staying here. We talked to organizers earlier, and here is what they had to say.
I didn't see anything happening in Duluth, and I thought that we should participate in our community in our own way, because I think this is something that is affecting communities all over the United States and everywhere.
And Kristen will obviously be continuing coverage throughout the evening and online, both and on air, as the situation abides here in Duluth. But for now, we'll take one last look of what is actually going on as police are being surrounded by protesters. A very peaceful protest has now stopped here on the corner of 21st Street East. As this continues, we'll keep you updated both on air and online, and look for more tonight at 10. Kristen, back to you.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Well, meanwhile, the Duluth Police Department has released a statement on the protest. They said they're aware of the protest and it's a peaceful gathering, saying, quote, "Our community is outraged and we are there to ensure their right to free speech is preserved," end quote. They went on to say they are ready to block traffic for the protesters should they choose to march down the street. Meanwhile, 2 leaders of Duluth's African-American community are voicing their thoughts about the situation. CBS3's Emma Quinn has their message.
The incident and the death of George Floyd. What was your reaction to that?
It's been a nightmare.
Duluth NAACP President Stefan Witherspoon wants answers after George Floyd died at the hands of police in the Twin Cities on Monday.
I'm fed up and I'm tired, and I want justice and accountability.
For Human Rights Officer Carl Crawford, the past few days have been emotional. He knows what happened to Floyd could happen to him.
For me, as an African-American male, even in my role as a human rights officer, there is uncertainty when I walk outside of my house. Uncertainty on how I'm going to be treated, if I'm going to make it back home.
Both men say black people across the country have brutal encounters with police far too often.
Racism is a recurring pandemic in America.
Crawford says he appreciates the Minneapolis Police Department taking action against the officers involved, while Witherspoon says more needs to be done.
The fired is not good enough. How are they going to be held accountable for what they did?
Crawford and Witherspoon both say the racial inequality African Americans face is an issue that will only be addressed when communities all come together.
really a Herculean effort of community, of folks in office, in this case, the police department, of everyone involved need to really start understanding their bias and prejudice and how it influences the way policy is set, the way we do our work.
State leaders spoke about the investigation into George Floyd's death today, including Attorney General Keith Ellison. He said he's ensuring the process is thorough, so any charges they do file stand up in court. Back in February, a working group made up of advocates, mental health, and law enforcement members released its findings for ways to reduce deadly officer-involved shootings in Minnesota. St. Louis County Attorney Mark Rubin was a part of that group. He says George Floyd's death is proof we all need to work together for racial justice. The working group's recommendations were aimed at saving lives, including ensuring all officers are trained in de-escalation tactics to reduce the use of force. Rubin says this incident is proof of a frayed relationship between the community and law enforcement.
Our work isn't done. I mean, this is a continuation. This is just another sad, tragic example of the amount of work that still needs to be done. But we've got to be positive on it, and that's the message that we need to keep out there, and we're willing to work at it.
Rubin says members of the group and the Minnesota County Attorneys Association have started implementing recommendations around the state. It's unclear if Minneapolis police have adopted any of the working group's policies. New tonight at 6, the state of Wisconsin is making sure communities across the state can address local needs related to the pandemic. Governor Tony Evers announced a $200 million grant program called Routes to Recovery. The state will grant funding to every Wisconsin county, city, village, town, and federally recognized tribe in need. The money is coming from the Federal CARES Act. Evers says local governments are on the front lines of supporting their communities through the pandemic and are best able to address their unique needs. Wisconsin's Elections Commission is once again considering whether or not to mail absentee ballots to all of the state's registered voters. Their meeting started at 4 o'clock this afternoon. It's the second time the group has met about the issue. If approved, 2.7 million absentee ballots would be mailed ahead of the November presidential election, even to voters who did not request one. Democrats were in favor, while Republicans were opposed. We're expecting a vote at some point tonight. Duluth City Hall will slowly start to reopen next week. Mayor Emily Larson made that announcement during a press conference today. She says people will be able to enter the building through one set of doors with one central help desk. Staff and the public will be required to wear masks. The City Council and other commissions will continue to meet virtually until at least July 20th. Larson says she's still hoping Duluth will receive funding from the Federal CARES Act, but cities are waiting for the state to provide clarity. An update to a story we first brought you Friday. Nearly 100 restaurant and bar owners from our region came together today discussing the future of their businesses. The meeting was held outside the Powerhouse Bar in Proctor. Bar and restaurant owners, local lawmakers, and more brainstormed ways to safely open. Some also shared concerns surrounding the governor's order, only allowing restaurants and bar owners to open outdoor serving areas starting Monday. Tony Chazak, the Minnesota Licensed Beverage Association's executive director, says the current plan to partially open in outdoor spaces is not practical for many businesses, and he wants the governor to give these bar owners more guidance.
We just need some guidance from the governor, and we would definitely ask the governor to give us some sort of hope by giving us a date that he had in place that we could open up or prepare to open up, because you can't just turn the light switch on here in the industry.
He says the outdoor spaces will benefit some businesses, but there are still questions about what to do if severe weather hits. Governor Walz has said he made the order to help limit the spread of COVID-19 through the air. The Duluth News-Tribune will only print their paper twice a week after the COVID-19 pandemic only worsened financial troubles at the newspaper. The paper's executive editor, Rick Lubbers, made that announcement today. He says starting June 8th, the paper will only be printed Wednesdays and Saturdays, a change from their normal 7 days a week. He said it will also be mailed instead of delivered. The Duluth News-Tribune will continue reporting online 7 days a week. Lubbers says print advertising and subscriptions have been declining for years, all while digital readership continues to grow. This was the deadliest Memorial Day weekend on Minnesota roads in a decade. The State Patrol says 8 people died in 6 crashes this past weekend. That's the most deaths since 9 people died back in 2010. The victims ranged in age from 16 to 85 years old. Officers arrested 292 drivers for driving while under the influence over the holiday weekend. That's nearly 100 fewer than last year. Minnesota has also passed 100 traffic fatalities for the year. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, on one of Duluth's warmest days this year, hundreds flocked to Park Point Beach. The story next.
High temperatures today ran from 58 in Grand Marais to 83 in Superior. Warmth like this could stick around through tomorrow, but by the weekend it's going to become cooler. We'll talk about that and our rain chances in just a minute or two.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 6 with Kristen Baki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3.
Shop the Memorial Day sale in-store by appointment or online at Home Seasonal Concepts with the largest selection of in-stock outdoor furnishings like this 5-piece fire table, just $9.99, plus no interest financing until 2023. Home Seasonal Concepts Memorial Day sale.
You're ready to drive again, and not just to the neighborhood store. In a new Honda, you can enjoy the open road with powerful performance. And your money can go farther too, because Honda holds its value better than any other auto brand. Your Honda dealer is offering flexibility, like shopping online, so you can purchase with confidence. Get your new Honda today. KBB.com's 2020 Best Value Brand.
A lot of land comes with a lot of work. The affordable new MX Series has a lot to offer. The versatility to mow, move hay bales, grade, and clear brush and snow. A spacious cab to keep you comfortable in any conditions. Excellent loader lift capacity, hydrostatic or gear transmission options, and built to get every job done right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today.
No one serves you better than Blue Implement.
Reclaim your life today in the face of anxiety, depression, or thoughts of suicide at Ketamine North Infusion. In our safe spaces, we want to ensure you a better quality of life with our low-dose IV ketamine infusions. Ketamine North Infusion. Be well with us.
When severe weather hits, tune to CBS 3.
Tonight at 10, we'll be out here in the storm.
For up-to-date coverage morning and night.
Stay away from here.
Live local weather coverage on CBS 3 Duluth.
And when we get back, are people going to have money? And I think people are going to be raring to do something.
It really just kind of came to a screeching halt.
Another industry feeling big impacts from the COVID-19 pandemic, Duluth's local arts community. From live theater to musicians to photographers, I'm taking a closer look at how their daily lives have changed and how these artists are working to recover.
Surviving the intermission, May 29th at 10.
Home's Memorial Day sale. Save up to 30% store-wide, plus get no interest financing until 2023. Shop in the store by appointment or online, plus free no-contact shipping during Home Furniture's Memorial Day sale.
2 of the greatest athletes in the world are competing on our new show, Game On. Face some trivia questions.
Can't wait.
And one-of-a-kind challenges.
But nothing too dangerous.
Like human darts and danger sit-ups.
Okay, that literally has the word danger in it.
You won't want to miss it. Come and get it. Elite athletes, epic challenges. Game On. New series tonight at 8, 7 Central on CBS.
CBS 3 weather is brought to you by LifeView Glaucoma Center. Now, the CBS 3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
For a lot of us, last night's rain was indeed a soaker. Here's a look at rain totals since midnight. And since the rain hit earlier in Minnesota than midnight, you see the totals here, not that impressive. In Duluth since midnight, about 0.2, but northwestern Wisconsin really got a dumping upon. Solon Springs area, 2.07 inches of fresh rain, close to an extra inch on what they got over yesterday in Ashland. and it's all coming in very handy here. Most of our region now has low fire danger, at least for the time being, though there's still a stripe up along the Canadian border in Minnesota where it's moderate, so we still have to be careful out there. And with the dry spell coming, though, I hope we don't go out of the frying pan back into the fire here soon, because in the wake of this departing low, it's drying up and likely will stay dry through the weekend, except for a slight chance for a couple of sprinkles tomorrow. First, though, we eye up the current conditions. It's 81 at the airport in Duluth. Relative humidity only 35%, and that's why I'm worrying about fire danger again already. Westerly winds going 6 miles per hour, and the air pressure holding steady at 1,011 millibars, which technically isn't overly high, but it seems to be high enough to bring us a blue sky, at least for right now. And it's also helping to bring some pretty toasty temperatures. Right now we have 74 in Watersmeet, 65 in Ironwood. That's one of our cooler spots, but 76 Ashland, 83 degrees in Superior. Cooler by the lake, not striking that town today. 79 Moose Lake, but only 54 by the lake in Grand Marais. Go figure. 81 Ely, 80 Hibbing, 81 in Grand Rapids and in International Falls. Tomorrow's temperatures will be warm. Not this warm, I don't think, but mid-70s to upper 70s for one more day. Then Friday, things do cool down. Doppler map right now shows the departing low-pressure system from yesterday still bringing some showers to parts of northeastern Wisconsin and into the upper peninsula, and that may continue for a couple more hours. In Minnesota, in between fronts, so it's on the drier side right now, but a front coming in tomorrow morning could bring a couple of showers to Minnesota, 20% chance. Otherwise, then high pressure reasserts itself, keeps us dry from Thursday through Sunday. But by Monday, finally, a new low pressure system comes to call, brings us back a chance for some rain. So if you like it on the dry side and you got plenty yesterday, well, you should have weather you like here until the start of the next work week. Here's what goes on tonight in Minnesota. Low temps will run about 51 by International Falls to 57 by Moose Lake. And we'll get a partly cloudy sky. In Wisconsin, Michigan, mid to upper 50s for the low temps there. Partly cloudy sky tomorrow in Wisconsin and the UP, 73 to 75. Not quite as warm as today, but nice. Partly sunny. Partly cloudy for Minnesota after we shake off that 20% chance for some showers, kicked up by a passing cool front, 69 up north, 75 down south. And then the temperatures chill as higher pressure settles in from Canada. We drop into the 60s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but with sunshine. Then our next rain chance, Kristen, there we go. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but only 30 to 40% shots.
You know, I know a lot of gardeners who were very happy to get a little bit of that rain going last night.
My backyard garden that you used to see when I was out on the deck there for 5 weeks, really starting to green up now. And so far, the deer have been kept out by my 12-foot high fence.
There you go. That's what you have to do.
That's what you have to do.
Thanks, Dave. Duluth's Park Point Beach was busy today, much different from what we've seen during the pandemic. The beaches there do remain open, but people are asked to social distance. Our photographer estimated there were hundreds of people there. We did reach out to city leaders to hear their thoughts. They have not been able to provide us with any information as of now. The beach is not staffed with lifeguards. Meanwhile, COVID-19 has sunk plans for this year's Lake Superior Dragon Boat Race. The event on Superior's Barker's Island features teams of 20 competing in a rowing-style race. It usually serves as a fundraiser for local nonprofits, but due to uncertainty surrounding the virus and what regulations would look like in mid-August, organizers decided to cancel now as a precaution. The next race will be held in August of next year. During the current pandemic, a Fond du Lac family has decided to step up and help different reservations struggling across the country. FDL band member Tasha Martineau and her family have been handing out donations to other members of their reservation. But recently, they took things a step further by sending donations to other reservations. Martineau says she and her family are currently helping Native people on reservations in South Dakota, as well as the Navajo Nation of Arizona, Utah, and New Mexico. Just last week, the Navajo Times reported the Navajo Nation has more COVID-19 cases per capita than any U.S. state, even surpassing the national hotspot of New York. Martineau says they feel that we all need to come together during this difficult time.
This fear and this uncertainty that we're facing right now, that's going to go away, you know. We're going to be able to go to the movies again. We're going to be able to go shopping again. We're going to be able to gather with our loved ones again. But that kindness that we put out, that's going to last forever.
Along with other goods, the family has donated masks, traditional native medicines, and honey from local beekeepers. In return, other reservations are praying for her children's health. Coming up in sports, big news for the College of St. Scholastica as the Saints prepare to make a change in conferences. Kelly's in next.
Northwest Outlet is open for business. Now save up to 40% off store-wide.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Garden mats eliminate 90% of the time spent working in the garden and increase a garden's productivity by 10 to 20%. Garden mats let air and water through, but block sunlight. The pre-measured holes make planting a breeze. We help people grow 100% organic vegetables, weed-free. Garden mats give us our summers back to do the things we love. Go to gardenmats.com.
Are you a veteran and a homeowner? Then think Streamline and maybe save yourself hundreds of dollars every month on your mortgage. A VA Streamline refinance is just for veterans and lowers your mortgage rate so you can save on mortgage payments every month, every year. And it's easy to qualify. You don't need pay stubs, a W-2, bank statements, or a home appraisal. And mortgage rates now are very low. Veteran and homeowner? Call 888-327-6866.
Reclaim your life today in the face of anxiety, depression, or thoughts of suicide at Ketamine North Infusion. In our safe spaces, we want to ensure you a better quality of life with our low-dose IV ketamine infusions. Ketamine North Infusion. Be well with us.
Engines are restarting. Park is shifting to drive. So we're offering 0% financing for 72 months and no payments for 120 days. Plus the freedom to shop and buy online. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram will help you drive forward.
Or now during the Memorial Day sales event, well-qualified returning lessees can lease the 2020 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4 for $200 a month.
My 95.7 is the Northland's best variety all day. From Ed Sheeran and Maroon 5 to Lady Gaga and Bryan Adams. Always family and office friendly. My 95.7, your life, your music.
During this COVID-19 crisis, everyone is experiencing raised stress levels. Business is disrupted and consumers are scared. The result can create tense situations. The Better Business Bureau encourages everyone to treat each other with grace, respect, and empathy. We need to work together. When life begins to normalize, people will remember how they were treated during this time. If businesses and consumers treat each other fairly, these relationships will last far beyond this crisis.
Better?
It is certainly a monumental day in the world of Division III sports. St. Scholastica, who currently resides in the UMAC, will soon join a new conference of teams. As of today, starting in 2021, the Saints will belong to Minnesota's lone Division III conference of all Minnesota schools. The announcement comes just a year removed from the news that St. Thomas would be leaving the MIAC in 2021. CSS will take over the spot that the Tommies leave behind. The Saints will play out this coming 2020 season in the UMAC and will transition to the MIAC in the 2021-2022 season. The Saints have been members of the UMAC since 1995. Athletics Director Frank Obari says that they were approached by the MIAC and encouraged to apply, saying that the two sides shared similar values and were accepted quickly.
We're competitive, and we're committed to enhancing areas to continue that competitive success. So we will take a closer look at various areas that we feel might assist us with regards to being more competitive as we join the MIAC conference. So we have put together an athletic strategic plan, And that strategic plan certainly allows us to explore various areas that we feel we should improve as we navigate through this change.
And since McAllister will be moving their football program to the MIAC next year as well, there will be 10 total football schools. So they're adopting a new two-division format. St. Scholastica will play in the Northwoods Green Division, along with Carleton, Gustavus, St. John's, and St. Olaf. The other will be Skyline Silver Division with Augsburg, Bethel, Concordia, Hamlin, and McAllister.
You know, our members are going to get really excited to come up to the Duluth area. It's a really special place. And so I think there's a lot of great things up there that we need that exposure to our other programs. And it's going to be great for St. Scholastica, too. You know, we did take a look at the mileage that everybody would be adding to this. But we looked at it as we have very similar trips when we go to Concordia Moorhead or when we go to St. Mary's out of Winona. St. Scholastica is going to fit right into that travel pocket that we were really comfortable with, and I think it made sense. It protects missed class time and our travel budget, so we were excited about the location, quite frankly.
Now, 20 of St. Scholastica's 22 programs will join the MIAC, the only two exclusions being men's and women's Nordic skiing, who are members of the Central Collegiate Ski Association. No talk yet of adding men's or women's swimming, which are the only two sports that the MIAC currently has that St. Scholastica does not. Certainly going to be exciting to see them change conferences in 2021. That's going to do it for sports. We'll have more here back at 10. Kristen, I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Well, if you were anticipating the historic launch of a SpaceX rocket today, well, you're out of luck because it's been postponed. The launch was supposed to happen today around 3:30, but it was called off and rescheduled for Saturday, just 16 minutes before launch time due to the danger of lightning. When the launch does happen, it will be ushering in a new era in commercial spaceflight and putting NASA back in the business of launching astronauts from the U.S. for the first time in nearly a decade. Since 2011, NASA has relied on Russian rockets to carry astronauts to and from the space station. Well, lightning there, Dave, but luckily pretty clear here.
Fair weather here. We had our rough weather yesterday with upwards of 2 inches around Solon Springs. Lesser amounts for many of the rest of us, but we needed the rain. Still short of it in Coochin County, perhaps, and the next chance to get a little bit of rain might come tomorrow morning, but it's just a 20% chance for sprinkles. Otherwise, higher pressure will dominate our weather on the sunnier side of things all the way through Sunday. Then the cooler side of things after today's warm spell fades a little bit tomorrow and then fizzles by Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Next rain chance, it's coming around Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but only 30 to 40% chances.
Not too shabby. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 10.